Says I'm live. Let's see if people show up. Good morning. There's always a delay. So if you're hearing me and I'm not yet acknowledging you or anybody here, and there's also a lot of people I found out, I thought that everyone that was online was showing me here on the YouTube channel, but apparently 15 people were online watching the workshops that weren't actually being shown to me. So good morning. We're going to start here in just a couple minutes. Give some people time to log on. I had several RSVPs. People seem to be really excited, as I am, about what I've got in content today. Should be fun, should be interesting, and we're going to do a really fun, deep meditation. So I'll just kind of sit here in awkward silence until, we see if people are here. La la la. It's warm in here. Happy almost Halloween. We'll be getting that going pretty soon. I gotta do my slideshow presentation, don't I? I do. Good morning. I don't know if anyone's there yet or not. Some people register and they log in, and many people don't. So it's hard for me to tell if anybody's online yet or not. So I'm gonna give this just a couple more minutes. Many of the people that RSVP'd do log in, so I can usually see them on the live chat section of the screen. But it does look like we got a couple of people. Let's give it a couple more minutes if you don't mind. I've got some very fun stuff. And I don't know about fun. It's not a playground, but some deep stuff and some fun stuff. I like to keep it kind of light in spite of how deep some of these subjects are. I think that's something I've always enjoyed is to be able to see the humor and the lighter side of very heavy things. I think spirituality is playful. I think God is playful. And I think that I know that as we establish a more intimate, informal relationship with the divine, it becomes exactly that, less formal and more playful. It's only those we're the closest to that we can be informal with. People that we don't know, people that are acquaintances, people in position of power, etc. It's very formal, sir, ma'am. We want to establish a very informal, very intimate relationship with our spiritual goals and our spiritual relationship. And this is a lot of what we talk about here, ultimately lead to exactly that. Yes, knowledge is extremely important. We're going to go into some of that. So this is the review of the tarot workshop from last week. And excuse me, we're going to include a meditation, maybe 10, 15 minutes. We'll see how it goes, and it should be very fun and introspective. So we can use some of this knowledge and put it to practice. So let's go ahead and get started. Whether anybody comes online, and we have a few people or not, these will always be logged into the YouTube channel for later viewing. So there were a couple of questions that could come up. Let's see what we got here. 11:04. Yeah, let me give it 2 more minutes. It's probably the polite thing to do, right? I don't know. And again, please pardon the delay. There's always a 30 to 40 second delay between what I'm saying and what I'm seeing. And so if anybody's reacting to anything, some of those awkward parts of this, excuse me. Again, happy almost Halloween, the night of the perfect crime. One of my favorite times of the year, if not the. I love the fall. I like the shift, the angle of the sun, the shift of the weather. I like that transition. Summer for me is hard. I have a Pitta dosha, if you know what that is, in Ayurvedics, and that means that I run hot all the time. Very warm inside, very warm outside. And so when the weather shifts, I feel like relief is coming. We can synchronize ourselves with these biorhythms and natural rhythms within the universe and within our physical manifestation that we live in, the phenomena. Let's go ahead and get started. The review of the tarot workshop. We're going to go through some of this, but it's mostly going to be some new stuff. I got some fun things planned for you. We're going to get into a meditation almost right away. We're going to begin with the tarot meditation, the meditation tarot, to be able to put some of this to use. But first, when I was about 3 years old, my mom came out of her room, waking up early in the morning, all sleepy, and I was in the middle of the floor with a screwdriver and some small tools at 3 years old, maybe 4, with a radio completely torn apart. Transistor radio was 1970, and it was completely torn apart on the floor. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I said with tears in my eyes, "I'm trying to see the people." I was absolutely convinced that there's no way that these voices were coming out of this little tiny thing without little people being inside, and I want to play with them. So I took the whole radio apart, trying to find the people. And the more she tried to explain to me that there weren't people in there about radio frequencies, I was 3, going on 4. I could not possibly conceptualize that. And so I was in tears, wanting to know how it worked. I wanted to see the people inside. And at 3 to 4 years old, I'm there with a screwdriver and wrenches in my hand, taking apart a transistor radio to find out. The point of this anecdote is to emphasize the curiosity is what drives us. We need 3 things in our mystical and spiritual pursuits and goals and ambitions. Interest. I didn't spell that right. Sanskars. It's got an S on the end. Knowledge and practice. Sanskars is a Sanskrit word. Your tendencies, your natural intuitions and tendencies are carryovers from past life work that you've done. And these are your sanskars. Why some people like vanilla over chocolate for their favorite ice cream. It's not just a conscious choice. We don't sit there and determine what we're going to like, what we don't like all the time. We naturally like something and don't like other things. I don't like black licorice, but I love cherry licorice. What can I say? It's something I choose. So the first thing we need in our spiritual ambitions is to have an interest, a sanskar, a tendency to gravitate and desire to know these things and be close to them. The second one is we need actual knowledge. I've already elaborated a bit in prior workshops on my bit of contempt for a lot of the new age psychic community that doesn't put any value on knowledge. It's all about intuition and what they do. I disagree vehemently with this. You have a responsibility as a medium, as a scholar, as a mystic, to back up all that you're saying and experiencing with the knowledge that you gain, and to continue your journey through knowledge throughout your entire mystical career. And then finally, of course, it's practice. If you don't apply the knowledges and the experiences and the sanskar tendencies that you have, then you're wasting your time. Again, the emphasis on much of the new age community that just doesn't want to put any of that work in or value in that. To me, it's lazy. You have a responsibility, and the knowledge that has been in the Akashic records and manifests on this earth for us is valuable and necessary for our growth and evolution, mystically and spiritually. That's why the sages and the gurus and the saints produce it because we need the right teaching. As the Buddha said, the right learning, right understanding. So we need these three things. So there I was taking apart a radio at 3 years old to try to find out where the people were. I want to know how it worked. True story. So we need these three things. Now, let's begin. This workshop is the follow-up to last week's Absolute Tarot workshop, and this is going to begin with a meditation tarot. I'm going to guide you through a meditation of the tarot for a few minutes. So let's begin with a little breathing. In through the nose and out through the nose. Now, not everyone can do that. Sometimes we're a little blocked or congested. That's natural. The reason we are switching from sometimes our right air passage and our left air passage being clear and the other one not is because they correlate to our solar and lunar aspects of our physical body, of our physiology, of our energy body. When you sleep at night, the reason you want to turn over is because your energy body is desiring to balance out the lunar or the solar. So when you switch, one clears and the other one congests again. When we're upright with our spine erect, this is when we can start to breathe pranayama properly. So if you can, let's begin with maybe closing your eyes and just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Whatever's comfortable for you, don't force it. And you don't need to open your eyes. You can if you like. Just listen to my voice, and I'll take you there. In through the nose and out through the nose. At whatever pace is appropriate for you. Now, as you breathe in through the nose, I want you to breathe in completely. That means that take in all the inhalation that you can, gradually and slow, but still where it's comfortable, and bring it down into your belly and fill your belly like a pot. Feel your belly distend and extend outward as you fill with air. And then when you exhale, through the nose if you can, exhale completely, getting it all out. And you can see my shoulders aren't really rising as I breathe. If you're watching, my stomach is, my belly. I'm filling my belly full of air. This is the complete breath. To inhale as much as you can, and then when you exhale all of it. Get rid of all the toxins and all the parts that you don't need anymore. Go at your own pace, and we're going to add one little twist before we begin our meditation. And that is retention. Inhale. Hold it and pause. And then exhale. And then when you exhale, retain for a moment, only with what's comfortable. Retain. Retention. The retention in between is very important in your pranayama, in your breathing exercise. What we're doing is we're calibrating, equalizing our energy body with our mind. So as you just breathe for a moment, in and out through the nose. Don't ever worry about doing it right or wrong or doing it well. There is no right or wrong here. Just do the best you can. We're going to take a tour, a walk, a journey through the tarot, a meditation tarot. We're familiar with the Fool, and the term significator is what we use for what we're reading about or who we're reading about. But essentially, we're all the Fool in the tarot deck. Starting his journey to go through the major arcana, the experiences, the personalities that he'll meet through his life. So I want you to, as you breathe, Visualize the Fool any way that you want and can, and make that personality you. You are the significator. You are the center of the universe. The first personality that the Fool comes across is the magician. The magician who initiates and introduces mystical and magical practice, the elements, the first brush with knowledge and insight, teaches them how to breathe and be controlled, contained. Imagine yourself in a natural setting, in the woods or a beach, whatever you like. The magician is there with his four implements, the wand, the sword, the pentacle, the cup. Like the master, like the guru, just imparting the knowledge to you. Feel the knowledge come right into your third eye and cascade down through your body, your energy body. Feel it cascade as you breathe in it and out. Once the Fool has completed his lesson with the magician, he journeys on, she journeys on to the Hierophant, the Emperor, the Empress, the Priestess, all the personalities that will contribute to your knowledge and your training. We need knowledge and training. Honor the knowledge and training. Open your mind where you can actually feel the top of your head just virtually vanishing and opening like a funnel, to allow the knowledge, cosmic knowledge, to just pour in through your crown chakra and allow it to cascade, wash through your subtle energy body, down through your third eye, down through your throat chakra, down through your heart of Tiferet, down to your will in your solar plexus, your emotion and your sex in your lower abdomen, and finally, in your ego and sense of you that gets abolished in your Muladhara, Malkut, root chakra. Continuing to breathe. You don't have to count when you breathe or focus when you breathe. Just let it happen naturally. That whole thing about counting when you breathe, counterintuitive, counterproductive. The Fool is on the journey, and that is you. You're on your journey to study, to learn, to gain knowledge and experience the mystical sensations and modalities, to be able to put them to practical use. As you journey through the major arcana, we've been through the Hierophant, the Priestess, the Emperor, the Empress. We go on to the Hermit, standing with his lamp aloft, illuminating the path for others to be able to walk upon and tread along, to follow. He lives alone in isolation, serving his purpose, just to illuminate the truth and the path for you. The tarot, the Fool's journey through the major arcana. See the images if you can, any way that you want. And the Fool's journey through the major arcana is the entire spectrum of human experience. The personalities, the love, the loss, the tragedies, the triumphs. All of these elements and features of our existences contribute to who we're becoming, who we've been, but more so who we're becoming. Pause for a moment there, and as you breathe, think of who you're becoming. You're journeying up and down the tree of life to manifest your will, your creative will, to illuminate and become enlightened, to open your mind, get all of your chakras opened and spinning the right frequency and the right rotation, connecting together. Feel these wheels of light and energy up and down your spine, all through your body, and the energy traveling up, intertwining through each one, and also returning, traveling down. As above, so below. You're traveling through multiple lifetimes, through these personalities and events. Sure, there's the Tower card, foreboding and ominous, destruction and miscommunication. But it's neither good nor bad. It's just part of reality. For birth to occur, death must occur, destruction must occur. For creation and manifestation to occur, things break, things tear, things explode. The singularity event, how the universe unfolds, is a very violent instance, but it expands all the beauty and gorgeosity of our physical, manifested material phenomena reality. A beautiful, poetic relationship with the creative force and source as we travel through the major arcana, past the death card, which is just the death of the ego, of the self, ahankar. Imagine and visualize you as the significator, as the fool, and you're traveling up the holy mountain, hiking, endeavoring to triumph, to scale the holy mountain, to get to the peak where you can look down upon all the creation and experience it in its entirety. It's a struggle to climb that mountain, but you wouldn't have it any other way. They say it's not the destination, it's the journey, but a journey with no destination is useless. Endure the journey for the destination. As you approach the top of the holy mountain, feel that sense of triumph as you ascend and your eyes break the horizon and you realize you've made it. You did it. You struggled, you suffered, sacrificed, you endured, and you have indeed arrived at the peak of the holy mountain. And as hard as it was, you do it all over again. Take in the view of all of manifestation below you from this peak that you've attained. Honor it, enjoy it, take it within you. Again, the top of your head, no skull, no hairline, no scalp, no tissue, just an open funnel for cosmic knowledge and creation to funnel in to your Sahasrara crown chakra and washing and cascading down through your third eye, your throat chakra for communication, your heart for love and care and feeling, into your will, down to the emotions and your sex, and through your root chakra, and then Drive it back up from the root chakra, up through your emotions, through the sex, through your will, driving it up from your will, back through your heart chakra, into your throat to communicate the manifestations, the concepts into your third eye, where you have intuition and vision, true vision. And again, out the crown chakra to rejoin and be absorbed by the cosmic universe around you. A give and take reciprocation, an interplay as you absorb the energy from the cosmos and then feed it and give it back. Bring your awareness to your breath again. Feel that energy. You've climbed the holy mountain. You've had your pause. You've enjoyed the view. It's time to journey on. Don't worry about leaving the beauty of the peak of the holy mountain, because you'll be back. Say goodbye to it. Don't say goodbye. Say, I'll see you soon. And feel the holy mountain longing for you as you depart, and you longing for it and knowing that you'll be together again. And as the Fool descends from the holy mountain into the physical world of manifestation and creation, he journeys past all the minor arcana, the suits, cups of emotion, a wand for action, pentacles for manifestation and material, and the sword to discriminate between true and false. All of the court cards, the personalities, the teachers, the parents, the friends, the neighbors, the brothers, the sisters that we encounter along the way, they help us, we help them, and sometimes they're tyrants. And we don't look at the tyrants as a bad thing either. There are opportunities for us to learn humility and to be clever and crafty to circumnavigate them. Descend from the holy mountain through the minor arcana of the different suits and the court cards and the numbers 1 through 10 of every suit. The natural mountainside, the trees, the ground beneath your feet, the vibrant Mother Earth energy transmitting up through the soles of your feet, and you give it right back from your heart. You give that love and that wisdom back for yourself, for Mother Earth, and for the next traveler that walks the path. As you get back to the base of the mountain, exhausted and tired, but accomplished, satisfied and fulfilled, you know you've earned something. Nothing was given to you. You've earned it, and you will honor it. Make a prayer. Make a dedication. Make a commitment. Silently, right now, make yourself a promise, a commitment, a dedication to achieve, to accomplish, to create, to express your creation through these cards, these concepts. Focus on your breathing again. In through the nose, out through the nose. The gift of pran, of life, that we do automatically without any thought. And yet, when we think about it and concentrate, it becomes more potent and available. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. This was spontaneous, not scripted. Guided meditations can be very useful. Sometimes they sync right with us, and sometimes they miss the mark, and sometimes a little bit of both. What I've learned with guided meditations is that it stimulates our own imagery and concepts. So when we go into our own meditations, there's archetypes. There are images and concepts that were already there. They're being awakened. Tarot is a form of meditation, not just a system of divination that we went through these factors. What I'd like to do is answer some of the questions that were posed during the workshop. And there's two main ones that I think were very insightful and deserve some attention that we didn't get to go into too much. One of them was about the Rider-Waite. And there was a comment along the way that mentioned that they somewhat challenged a little bit of my presentation that tarot is a expression of Kabbalah's tree of life. That's where it came from. That the Gnosis of mystics, the Gnosis, the sanctuary of the Gnosis, was a organization of rabbis, other Kabbalists and mystics that determined the best way to preserve the knowledge within the Kabbalah's tree of life was to, instead of, or they already had the Hebrew alphabet, there's all symbols and meanings, not just letters. But they wanted to have sort of images that convey the entire concepts archetypally, so they could look at them and know. So when the world religions, in their power-hungry grabs, destroy things and eliminate them from the face of the earth, that these things could stand and stay, and eventually people would see them and be able to connect with them. The concepts of the journey to the tree of life. So to elaborate and back up on that, this person was a little concerned that I was exaggerating a bit. Rider-Waite, Rider was the publisher, so that doesn't really matter. Waite is Arthur something, I don't know, Emery Waite. He was an initiate in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Okay, I'm an initiate of the OTO. I'm a third degree. That is the offshoot, or that's when the Crowley started. After he left the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, they're not around too much anymore. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is not just into Kabbalah and Tree of Life, it's based on it. So when Arthur Waite discussed with Pamela Coleman Smith the design and art to be used within the Rider-Waite tarot deck, he meditated and he described to her the concepts that he wanted. So this is a man that's trained and probably a master at Kabbalah and Tree of Life. And the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is centered around. All Hermetic is. Kabbalah is not just a big part of it. It's basically the core of it. So I mentioned that I wasn't sure if Pamela Coleman Smith and Waite had meditated and transmit and received the images from the Sanctuary of the Gnosis kind of thing, or if they had seen them. Well, after a little more research, again, knowing that he is an initiate of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, he definitely had more than access to it. He was extremely aware of it, as all Hermetic Order initiates are, and mystics that do follow the knowledge path as well. It's unavoidable. Again, there's no separation between Kabbalah, Tree of Life, and the tarot concept and the tarot deck itself. They are more than synchronized. Tarot was a manifestation. creation, to express and conceptualize the tree of life paths and the Sephiroth in imagery. Pictures speak 1,000 words, they say. Very important, because for sure, what tarot does is it evokes something in you. When you see the images, the master mystical concepts that are in these images that look so basic, the fool with his kit bag over his shoulder, stepping off a cliff with a dog nipping at his heels, playfully, says volumes. The color that the individuals or each figure is wearing, what's in their hand, everything in these images, the terrain, the landscapes that they're surrounded by, every bit of it, every detail. There's a one thing in Rider-Waite deck or any real good tarot deck that is mistaken or just coincidence. It all has a meaning to it. So again, I encourage and enjoy so-called challenges, or that's what these meetups are for, is to be able to discuss these things. Kind of hard with the the COVID online thing only, but it does happen, because it's only when we work together as a group can we flush these things out. And listen, I'm a pretty solid student in all things that I present, so it's not easy to prove me wrong, but I look forward to it, because when I do get proven wrong on anything, I'm humbled. I appreciate it. I love expanding my own knowledge. I enjoy it. And I also love the fact that people will present things that'll challenge some content, because it allows us and encourages us and requires us to elaborate on them more deeply, so that they don't stay on the surface, because I'm just one guy. I can't cover every little thing. And so I'm always going to miss some points. And when people bring them up because they're curious or because they're not sure if it was right, then it allows us and makes it happen. I've given workshops and presentations as an author and as a presenter that got sidetracked by a question for the entire time that everyone just loved, because that was what much more important than what was originally going to be presented. So again, we have it pretty well confirmed that the tarot is a manifestation, an expression of the Kabbalist tree of life. This is important to know, because tarot is not a form of divination. That's anything be used for that. Coins, tea leaves, whatever you want. We don't even really need those things. Honestly, as a somewhat medium myself, which I don't practice and use much, it's not my karma thing. It's not for me. I don't need anything. Just tune in and channel, meditate. So the true purpose of tarot and tree of life and Kabbalah is to give us a guided system to use to be able to expand our consciousness and convert it from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness or mystical consciousness. So there's a little bug in here. What's the difference between spiritual and mystical? Spiritual, in our worldly concept, means that which is spiritual and divine related. Mystical is a slightly different octave of the spiritual concept. Mystical means to become one with. Mystical practices and methods are not just to know of. They give methods and practices so that we can merge with it and experience it on a personal, intimate level. That's what enlightenment is about, when we become one with something. Samadhi, they say in meditation of dhyan, when you become one with the thing that you're meditating on. Meditation with the tarot, I think, is more than encouraged. I'm encouraging you and advising you. It's a wonderful tool to use. It's fun. You can't do it wrong. Again, if you learn about it, which hopefully you're getting some from this workshop and the last one, then it just continues to expand over and over again to new octaves. Now, the other thing that was a bit of a very important question was somebody asked about the monetization of spirit, spiritual concepts. And it's a fragile touchy subject. We don't want to materialize our spirituality or concepts. However, when the Catholic Church builds the Vatican, which I've been to, and it's gorgeous, it seems like it's just this ostentatious cathedral material thing just to exploit money from people. No. Please, let's look beyond that. What they're doing is creating a sanctuary and a haven and a pilgrimage point. St. Peter established the Vatican. He's amazing. He's the rock. And because we have these points of pilgrimage that are grand, they're not just grand to honor God, which they absolutely should be if you can, but also because many people that are still in material consciousness are drawn to that because it's beautiful. And that's all. And when they get there, many of them just enjoy it like an entertainment show. It's fun. It's beautiful. It's crazy big, blah, blah, blah. But other people, 1 out of maybe 50 or less, are seeing the beauty, and they're seeing the honor, and they're seeing the grace and the love that these designers and builders had as they constructed it. I walked the somewhat spiral staircase to the top of the Duomo in Florence, Italy. I think it's like 368, I don't know what it is. It's huge. Long, and the whole point was so that monks could meditate the entire time ascending the staircase up to the top of the Duomo. And I'll tell you, it's exhausting, it's difficult, it's narrow, it's rickety. But if you are meditating on God while you're doing it, what else can you think of? I mean, you got a long way to go. These ashrams, temples, cathedrals, mosques, these aren't just points of gathering. The reason they can and should be grand is to inspire people. And because when people go and they're inspired and moved, they want to go back. They want more. And they also know that the only way that they're so grateful that this place exists, that they can donate and be charitable and help fund it. On the surface, a cathedral, a temple can be a material looking thing, grand and gross and ostentatious. But look beyond the layers of that and see what its intention is to inspire. When I am at Prem Mandir in India, which is now such a huge, beautiful, solid marble, carved out of solid marble temple in Vrindavan, India. It is within, I think, 50 kilometers of the Taj Mahal, and every day gets more visitors now. And sure, some of it's kind of like a show. There's like a fountain show, there's all kinds, and I'm a devotee to it. I mean, I was there when it was getting constructed. And I am, as a devotee that's true with this path, am to tears in how beautiful it is in honoring Radha Krishna, the descension and appearance of God's divine love, personified forms. It's just done with such love. And many people are there just for the show. But a few of those people that are there just for the show and enjoy the architecture and the design of it are also going to walk away with something more. They're going to want to know more. They're going to want to get closer to something that they sense is there, but they don't know quite what it is. So it's a gateway, a portal, an entryway to satsang. Sat meaning divine and sang meaning association. When I go to satsang, I'm associating with my guru and with the divine. So when we go to the temples and the Vatican and any of these things that look very material on the outside, we get to connect beyond those layers to something that's more deeper and more profound. So the monetization of spiritual things is important because not only does my guru have a temple, multiple temples throughout the world now, but he also has built 4 complete free hospitals. Free. And I mean free. I mean people get surgery. Thousands of people a year get their lives saved because they have the resources, because people are so inspired by the beauty of the temples and the teachings that they give. And every doctor that's in these hospitals, 4 hospitals, volunteers for free. And these are top specialists because they're so want to just serve God. So monetizing, we live in a material world and we need to be able to hybridize these things together. I myself, I don't ask for donations or pay for these presentations. And I put a lot of time into them, preparing them on the slideshow. I don't know, where's my next slide? Oh, yeah. And sitting here in front of the YouTube channel to present them and preserve them, it takes a lot of time and effort. And those come at a great expense. So yes, it helps to have support. I don't require, neither do I when I give live workshops, have I ever. I've always said I request a donation. And sometimes it was 10 or 15 bucks, whatever it was. And most everyone would come in and donate, but I wasn't required. Because then when anybody who didn't have it to not come and get the knowledge that they wanted. And the same thing in a cathedral or a temple, you're not denied access because you're not paying to get in. They encourage you to donate and they would appreciate if you do, but you're not denied access if you don't. We're all welcome in God's house. And one of the ways to serve God with our mind, by meditating on him, her, with our body, by doing physical labor, as I volunteer at the ashram down the road to clear forests. Got a big giant cut on my leg yesterday for it. And with our money, to be able to preserve these temples and place of spiritual sanctuary so that we can attend them. And when we go there, they're beautiful and we can forget about the material world while we're there. I'm in this temple every day, meditating twice a day. Usually. Well, right now the World Series is about to start, so I'm taking a little time off. So the monetization is hopefully a reciprocating relationship that we can have. Again, I don't require donations or pay for these presentations. I ask for them because I've got to live indoors. I don't want to be worried about my material needs and survival issues. I want to be able to present knowledge and information I've gathered throughout my life to people that want it and need it. And the way I can do that over time is eventually to be able to support myself too. So it's an important element. These establishments, churches, cathedrals, synagogues, ashrams, temples, etc., they need to support themselves. They need resources. So the monetization of spiritual concepts and truth and knowledge, it's just part of it. I'm happy, thrilled, honored if I have material resources. Again, when I'm out in the forest cutting trees, I am so happy that I'm thinking I'm doing this in my heart to just please God. That's it. I love being able to walk through this ashram property, 200 acres of it, and being able to see the things that I've done. It's not a point of pride so much as I'm so grateful that I get to make a difference, something that I think is important and beautiful for other people to enjoy. So yes, it's an important part. This is why I also offer readings and live sessions and mystical gangster training and workbooks. Because unfortunately, if true mystics or anybody can't support themselves with the gifts that they're giving to the world, well, then they won't be able to sustain it. Eventually, I got to go get a job at Walmart or McDonald's or whatever. I don't know. I never have. I mean, I've been on my own a long, long time. But I virtually abandoned my clinical practice of behavioral counseling, which was profound work, and I still love it. But this phase of my life is to be completely dedicated and committed to the spiritual and mystical training for people. Another octave, taking it to another level. Everybody gets both. And so, again, I think that while it sounds a bit like an advertisement, because I am, of course, trying to sell product as well, I want people to know that, again, as I walked out of the Vatican, and there was a souvenir shop with, I'm not kidding you, little snow globes with like the Pope in it. And it was embarrassing, you know? There are temples. I was sharing with somebody yesterday that there is a ashram in India that very few people know of, that it's possible that, taking a big chance here, Christ himself was there. The woman I was speaking with about this, she's online now too, so she's aware of it. And if you go there and say, hey, I heard that Jesus was here some years ago, they look at you and be like, oh, we heard that too, but it's not. They don't want, because they know if they admit it, it'll be overwhelmed with Westerners and it'll become commercialized and damaged. Next thing you know, there'll be a McDonald's across the street. And no shit, because in the Vatican City, as soon as you exit it, there are indeed McDonald's and restaurant. And again, nothing wrong with that. This is part of the reality where we have to be able to coexist with demonetization and somewhat commercialism to be able to provide and create spiritual things that provide access. If I don't pay my dues for my website, to be able to my website engineers, if I don't pay them, then it's not going to get done because I can't do that and teach these. I tried. It was overwhelming. I couldn't do it all. So support for any path that you're with. And of course, even if you can't or don't feel comfortable donating money or buying any of the products or services that I offer, please like the channel. It means a lot. It goes a long way. You have no idea. Like the channel. Give thumbs up on it. Subscribe. It makes a huge difference. The point is that what we want during this age of Kali, which gets very, very dark, we want to preserve the knowledge and insights and true meanings of mystical paths and spirituality, because over time they fade and they go away. The underground stream is the body of knowledge and history that's authentic, that's real, that many mystics are very aware of. But the general public doesn't know anything about it. We want to try to preserve these things and continue to make them accessible and available to the world around, so that when people want them and they're seeking and they're ready, they can access them. I literally thank God every day. I can't imagine, literally can't imagine where I would be or how I'd live my life in America had my guru from India not been able to produce and make available his teachings and discourses here in America. I'd be screwed, I'd be lost. I mean, he is everything to me. True knowledge, true spirituality, true understanding, true practices. I can't live without them. So please support them. Me, others, wherever you go, the mosque, the temple, whatever it may be, if you like it and you think they're doing good work, then throw something in the donation cup or bowl. And if you don't, then definitely don't support them. There's a lot of them out there that definitely should not be supported in any way, because what they're doing is pretty shitty and evil. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe just wrong. So be scrutinizing, be discriminate, but definitely try to apply your material resource and support to some of the things that you find spiritually healthy and beneficial for you, because otherwise they won't be there. They'll not be able to sustain themselves. Moving on. Oh, there we go. There's me dead. I was actually alive at that moment. So it's a little bit early on, no, because we're only going to have a very short one today. So actually we're wrapping up it pretty quick. So it's coming out. The next presentation I think I'm going to give is a two-parter, and the near-death experience. I say near in parentheses because I wasn't near death, I died. This was me in the hospital when they resurrected me on the street, brought me back to life. And while I was in that coma, I can tell you for a fact that my soul and my mind were not present. A tiny fragment of my soul was there because it's the only thing that powers the body. My heart was beating, barely. But 9 days I was in a coma. This story, this experience will absolutely bend your mind. It is one supernatural, undeniable supernatural event after another. One after another. It is undeniable. I put my money where my mouth is. I can guarantee, not that there's anything to guarantee, because again, I don't charge admission, but your jaw will be dropped open when you see eventually within the first half hour of my death experience, people hear this and they're scratching there going like, dude, you got to be making this up. Like it's not possible. And yet it's all documented. I'm not going to give away the store. I'm not going to just give away because I want to have you enjoy the surprises of it. But I think it's time to present some workshops on the near-death experience, not just what I experienced in death, but of course, exploring the concept and experience of the other side, what I saw, what I experienced, what I came back with, and why, and how it's changed me. I think you'll enjoy this. Some of it's on the website. A lot of it is on my life-mind.com website, my clinic website. That's where my books are. I have not put those two together yet. So life-mind.com is my clinical website, my practice, and that has videos about me, my death experience. There's a page for my death experience, blog posts, and also my published books. I'm a 6-time award-winning author, so those are there as well. But I would like to, our next workshop, since Halloween is coming, I think it would be really great to do near or on Halloween, to go ahead and do a meetup on near-death experience. To, again, not just share with you what happened to me. That's irrelevant. It's not about me. There's only one thing worse than suffering. Suffering for no reason. I suffered. You can't imagine, and you will definitely see some tears during the presentation because there's no way I can possibly ever get through it without having some real raw emotions. And everything that I've endured through my life, severe drug addictions that I conquered on my own, my Kundalini event that was full blown and just madness in some ways and beautiful, and this death experience, and on and on and on through my life. In my view, they're being converted to share the knowledge and experience for other people to have true evidence of a walking, living, breathing human being that's no different than they are, 2 arms, 2 legs, material mind, etc., no different than they are, that can report on these things in a very honest way. To be able to expand your own views of these things. So I thought it was going to be somewhere far off in the future, but I'm getting a little message. I'm getting a little sense that it's coming soon, and I'm thinking Halloween is an ideal time for it. I'd love to have some feedback. Again, I want to encourage you. We're going to wrap up now. We're just making this the short one to follow up on the tarot. I answered those couple of questions. And again, I don't ask for donations. I don't require any money. I probably will on some workshops coming up. One of them called the Underground Stream. I'm definitely going to, because I'm going to weed out the people that are just going to be cynics and just want to cause trouble. Because that one's going to really break people's minds open. So I encourage you to go to spiritualtriangle.com and life-mind.com. Look at the products there. And if you like some, please buy them. They're very inexpensive. I mean, it's taken me months to produce some of those workbooks that I'm giving away for like $6, $7. A lifetime of studying those. And if nothing else, please like the page and subscribe. It makes a big difference. We live in a material phenomena, and I've got to be able to survive and sustain this so that I can continue to interact with you guys. And listen, I really enjoy the support, your attendance. It's an honor for me to be your guest. You've invited me into your home in your time, and I hope I make that worthwhile for you. It's an honor to be your guest. And I hope you give me the chance to do it again more in the future. Some great things coming up. The near-death experience meetup going to be, I'm thinking, towards Halloween. I'd love to hear your feedback if you like that. There's also the other mystical paths. We're going to be going into some of those in the very near future. And we're going to be revisiting Spiritual Triangle as well, too. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. And I'm not seeing any questions. Most people are kind of signing without actually being logged in. And I'll see you very soon. And again, visit the website and don't hesitate. Krishnanand at spiritualtriangle.com. Don't hesitate to give me comments, challenges, anything that you want to say, questions, anything you want to say. I'm accessible. Be very well. Agape 93, that's the current of mystical knowledge and wisdom. And I'll see you very soon. Take care of yourselves.